Okay, good afternoon all. I think we should start now. Am I audible properly?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, welcome back all the participants. So, finally, we are in the last session of first week. One more week to go. So, regarding the quiz and the attendance links, so please follow the announcement in the web page. I have announcement page in the web page, as well as the Telegram channel. Okay, so there might be some changes anytime. And regarding the lecture materials, for the first half session, already it is uploaded. The streaming link will be uploaded by the end of the day. And regarding the second session, after the session is over, then it will be uploaded. Okay. And at the end of the day, as we are going to complete 5 days, so there will be few assignments now. So from the day one, you have been asking that, yes, sir, where is the assignment? So now you'll be getting the assignments. You are having 2 more days, like weekends. Okay, so basically there will not be any job. So you can go for the assignments now. So let me introduce the resource person for this session. So today, this session will be taken by Professor Rajiv Chatterjee, sir. So he's working as an associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So though his basic dominance is in the networks, so IP-based networks and development of the network infrastructure. But he is among the very few faculty members in the NIT test system having a background in the education technology. So he has done his PhD in education technology. So apart from the subjects in computer science, so he's well conversant in the subjects in education, technical education and training. So for today's session, it is based on the content development for e-learning. And again, for your information, so Professor Chatterjee has developed like many SAM courses as well as MOOC programs, and he's having a vast experience in LMS as well. So I hope like all the participants will be like interacting, because instead of listening passively, I expect that interaction would be more in this session. So now, without having further delay, I would like to request Professor Chatterjee to take over.
Thank you, Dr. Mondal. Frankly speaking, my PhD is in technology-enabled learning.
Technology-enabled learning. Sorry.
Because education technology, then the education people will not allow me to enter into their domain. Anyway, so thank you very much for your brief introduction. I hope I request all of you to interact in this session, and no question is a silly question. So first of all, let me tell you, no question is a silly question. Second is, another important thing is that you can ask question as many times that time permit. Okay, so let us we have for this session I have developed 4 presentation, actually 4 small presentation, because this is my topic is on content development for e-learning. So I will have first a brief of what is e-learning, in what are the areas we can do that, and then we will communicate, or we will discuss about the other 3 different area where we can do our content development. Okay. Yeah. So what is basically an e-learning? E-learning is what we called as is a electronic learning or e-learning is a technology driven teaching and learning process. Okay, so technology here is basically the electronic technology, and very precisely the technology is the technology of the internet. Okay, so it has been observed that e-learning extensively uses electronic media, especially the internet, and it's a newer form of TLS or teaching learning system that uses ICT platform, digitized content to extend and enhance the learning experience. We can therefore say that this form of learning as technology enabled learning or technology enhanced learning. In European part, they say technology enhanced learning, and in Asian parts, we generally say that it's a technology enabled learning. Okay. What is basically here? Basically, we are augmenting the experience of learning using various technology, which are basically IT based systems, means information and communication technology based systems. Okay. Like very recently, we have developed in our NITER an augmented reality and virtual reality laboratory. Okay, so augmented reality and virtual reality. Now, these are very simple things. You have some cards, you just scan with a mobile app, and you get a detail of that card. Okay, some link you can say. From there you are actually getting a detailed knowledge about that product or detailed knowledge about that technology. So this is augmented reality. Okay. So technology enabled in particular means uses of tools, platform, infrastructure, libraries, framework in the business. This infuses classroom with digital learning tools such as computer, handheld device like tablets, iPad, PDS, Kindle, etc. The most important aspect of TEL is that it is more student-centered learning framework. Now, how this is enhancing the learning experience? Can anybody of you say that how it is enhancing the learning experience? You can unmute your mic and speak on this mic or in this platform. Can anybody of you say that how it is enhancing the learning experience? What is the mool mantra of enhancing the learning experience? So, as you are all teacher, I will ask you one question. If you are in the classroom, what is the time when you feel that yes, you have been honored by your students? Whatever they are learning, it has been you have been able to percolate your knowledge to them. How will you understand that?
Sir, sorry to interrupt. Participants are requesting to put it in slideshow mode, if possible.
Slideshow mode.
Sir, you can press F5.
Oh, acha. Ah. But then I will not be able to see the participants. Okay, anyway, but is it now visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if I ask you a question that as a teacher, how will you feel good in the classroom?
Sir, can I answer, sir?
Yeah, definitely. Anybody.
Sir, actually, your first question was regarding those using e-learning platforms. So, sir, actually, e-learning platforms, what I feel nowadays, student is getting helpful from this because the imagination power of the students are actually, I don't know, but I'm feeling that it is getting diminished over there because they are getting access through YouTubes and all those things. So once we are showing them something through this e-learning platforms, some through some slideshow or some videos, if we are showing them, so that is helping them to understand the mechanisms, or if I'm say I'm talking about the basic theories, so those are getting helpful to them. And the
Okay.
second question of yours was what how I mean what actually makes me feel that they're getting, they're understanding whatever I'm teaching them. So, sir, that only face to face when we see them and from their facial expressions, and as well as the way the way they interacts with us. So that maybe I think makes me feel that they have understood what I've tried to tell them.
Sir,
Okay.
according to me, when I have asked any question related to that topic and they started to the reply with very confidence, this is the first way to know they know all things very well. And the second one is if they start to ask the question related to that, and in fact for the next, then it is just the surement that they are very much able to understand all the concept.
Okay, I will say that you are not telling it wrong, but what you are missing is that engaging the student in the learning process. Okay. Suppose if you engage the student in the learning process, then it is actually you are making them or you are helping them to learn. So whatever you are saying, like YouTube videos, or if you can give them the material, this is one part of it. But if you bring them to the technology, by use of technology, if you can bring them to participate or work in their domain, then actually you are helping them to augment the learning experience. Because if they can come down and participate in the learning process, even though they are kilometers apart, then only we say that actually we are helping them to learn. Are you getting my point? Now, technology.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so technology in education nowadays use mostly electronic media. In general, ICT infrastructure with applications are used in technology-enabled learning. So there are two parts of it. One is the infrastructure part. Okay, you have servers, you have networking equipment, you have laptops, PDAs, Kindle, iPads, and those things. And the second one is the application. So you have Zoom, you have uh, what do you say, you have Google Meet, you have AView, and you are using them to distribute your knowledge, disseminate your knowledge, and asking them to participate in that. But this not only actually this will not only help in learning, but there are some other uh, applications, like, or some other what do you say, there are some other methods by which you can ask them, you can bring them to participate even though they are remotely connected. Okay, so before we prepare e-content or content development for learning, let us first understand what is basically e-learning. There are two parts of it. There are two types of e-learning. One is the synchronous mode of e-learning. So this is the synchronous mode of e-learning. I am giving a lecture sitting at my office and you are listening from your office. So we call it a synchronous mode of e-learning, where either we have virtual classroom environment or we have video conferencing too. Okay. But the second part is where we can actually bring the student, bring the learner to work and to participate in the learning process, is basically the asynchronous mode of learning. So we have learning object, we have video lectures, we have flipped classroom, we have blended learning, spoken tutorial, and one of the, you can say, successful model is MOOC, Massive Open Online Courses. So these are basically we classify the TALE or e-learning in two parts: synchronous mode of e-learning and asynchronous mode of e-learning. In synchronous mode, what actually happens? In this mode of e-learning, normally the teacher or the supervisor is connected to the student or the learner with the help of ICT, means information and communication technology. So we are basically connected through internet with laptops, gadgets, applications, and other things. All comes under that ICT. The learning is taking place at the same time at different geographically located remote centers or virtual classroom. So you can set up a center at your institute, or you can work from your home. Okay, it depends on that. Student can actively participate in the teaching learning process through video conferencing or a system alike, can extend the reach of learning process to much bigger catchment area and in the remotest part of the country. So these are basically, so what are the tools available? Like we have Zoom you are using, Google Classroom, WebEx is available, AView is available, and plenty of uh, things are available, plenty of softwares or applications are available to work in the synchronous mode. Apart from this, hardware video conferencing can also be done where you can use some hardware codec, okay, Polycam or Tenberg or some similar kind of video conferencing tool you can use that are hardware video conferencing, and you can join multiple classroom together. So it gives a feeling that as if they are just an adjacent classroom in the next room and you are communicating with them, but they may be 1,000 kilometers apart. Okay. The second way of learning is asynchronous mode of learning. In this mode of learning, a learner learns at his or her own pace, at his or her own time of convenience. That is the most important thing. The content are delivered to the learner with the help of a specialized software that is responsible for content delivery, administration, evaluation, and such other activity in this domain. That is in the domain of learning. This application software is normally termed as learning management system. So learning management system is basically concerned with delivery of the content, okay, then management of the actors comes like the teacher or the instructor, learners or the student, administrative staffs, another thing, then all those things like how to track a learner, okay, whether he has submitted the assignment or not, communicating with the learner. So these all things are coming under a specialized software called learning management system. Learning management system, I can give you an example of a very simple type of learning management system is a Google Classroom. Okay, so the teacher can see whether a particular student or a learner has actually connected with that content or not. Have we download those content? Have we download those assignments? And have we submitted those assignments? So all those informations are available with this. But there are some specialized kind of learning management system. So if you go for the open source, we have Moodle. If you go for a proprietary item, you have Learn ITY, we have Blackboard, and similar kind of softwares are available. You can use them. Okay. Then comes your virtual classroom environment. VC is a method of e-learning where instructor, that is the teacher, is connected to a number of learners at the same time at various geographically located centers using some form of communication technology, primarily internet. The instructor and learner uses some video conferencing tools such as Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, WebEx, AView, or any other similar kind of application. This was one of the promising method of technology-enabled learning in the era of pandemic. So you can understand that during the pandemic, during this COVID-19, all the schools or most of the schools, colleges, they have conducted the classes through this kind of, using this kind of technology, through this kind of method. And another kind of thing is that this is in the asynchronous mode where we say open, massive open online courses or MOOC. Now, MOOC is a novel technique of offering a course on an online platform that extensively uses ICT infrastructure for its implementation. Now, the difference between virtual classroom environment and the MOOC is that MOOC will actually bring the learner to work with the system. Okay, they are actually allowing a learner to work in a participation mode. The learner has to participate. Without learner's participation, the the credit will not be transferred, the degree will not be offered. Okay, So MOOCs generally is offered in the asynchronous mode of e-learning. MOOC courses uses 4-quadrant approach for implementation of the learning process, and the details related to the 4-quadrant approach is given in the next slide. You can see here what is the general technique of MOOC. I will say to you that in the first quadrant we are preparing the video lectures and the transcript. Transcript means your subtitles. Okay, just to avoid the MTI, mother tongue influence. Okay. In the second part, we are delivering with supportive material in form of PPT, in form of doc file, or in form of your PDF file. In the third quadrant, a face-to-face communication with the instructor is there. So even though it is in the asynchronous mode, but say at the end of the week, say on Friday, the participant or the learner can communicate with the teacher face to face for a small duration of time, say 1 hour or 1.5 hours. And then the fourth quadrant, we have assignments and assessment that needs to be completed, that needs to be delivered in order to prove or in order to say that yes, I have done this course. Okay. So these are the 4-quadrant approach of a MOOC. Now, format of MOOC courses are designed with normally 10, 20 or 40 hours of learning and actively spread over 4 to 12 weeks. So if you are working with a 10-hour course MOOC, so it will be spread over 4 weeks. If you are working with 20 hours, it will be spread over say 8 weeks. And if you are working with 40 hours, then it will be spread over 12 weeks. So normally you, on an average, you have to spend some 3 to 4 hours per week for completion of a course. This include video lecture session, self-study of the supportive and additional material, as well as completion of various learning activity, including assignment, group work, presentation, and assessment. Finally, the learner will sit for a summative evaluation to obtain a credit for the undergoing course. MOOC courses can be taken on audit mode also. Audit mode means, so I don't want a degree, I don't want a certificate. Only thing is that I will just take that course in order to gain some knowledge. So this kind of format of MOOC course is basically given here. Then what you say, some of our honorable participants, they say, na, video lecture session. Now, video lecture session is a very powerful tool, basically through which we can transfer the knowledge, basically the concepts, theories, or some kind of knowledge transfer is happening using the video lecture. And if you enter into the YouTube, you will find that a number of video lectures are available on particular topic. Suppose you want to see that how to change the say cartridge of a printer, there are also some video lectures are available. If you see that how to set up a mobile phone, okay, or how to set up a music system at your home for a particular brand, so you will find that there will be video lectures. Those videos are available. Okay, so these kind of things have been generated. The people are generating this kind of things which are basically helping the learner. Okay, suppose you want to develop some skill sets. Suppose you have brought a new printer at your home. Now you want to do it printer setup along with your mobile phone and with your laptop. How will you do that? So that's kind of video lectures, small duration video lectures are available. Generally, it is observed that if a video lecture is in a duration of 6 to 14 minutes, then it is known as a short video lecture. And if a video lecture is of a duration of 30 minutes to 1 hour, then we will say that it's a long video lecture or a long duration video lecture. Each lecture will either address to a single instructional objective or maybe address a set of IO. Each lecture may provide demonstration of a skilled activity or may provide a concept, theorem, or related knowledge chunk. Even video lectures are also used in the MOOC courses. One of the basic backbone of MOOC courses is basically the video lectures. Then we have flipped classroom. Anybody of you, do you know what is a flipped classroom? If anybody of you know about flipped classroom?
So before this, heard about flipped classroom, but sir, exactly knowledge is not about this.
Okay, means you have heard about flipped classroom.
The what I have heard.
Acha. See, flipped is means ulta. Okay, inverted. You understand? Flip. Just
Yes.
just
Yes,
invert it.
yes, sir.
Now, what is basically a flipped classroom? What do you generally do going to a classroom? Can anybody of you tell me what do you generally do after going to a classroom?
After going to the classroom, generally we brief the student about the syllabus, means the contents, and
Okay.
what the output after completing the syllabus in the requisite time frame. What will be the output after covering that syllabus or content? What they will learn, and how this learning will affect in their practical life after getting degree. What will be the practical application? Generally, in this type, uh, we give brief outline about the subject topic, and then according to syllabus or according to means overall syllabus and time frame, we set which topic we should start at first and which would be after that. Then we board work or and before this we also try to check from them and what they have learned previously, that is what they have learned, what any basic idea is about he or she hasn't or not. And
Sir, what we have to first, we introduce the topic. Thereafter, we discuss about some prerequisite knowledge. And
Okay.
thereafter, prerequisite, that is
অ্যাসাইনমেন্টটা এই যে এসটিটিপি এই যে এখানে দেবে কি বলছে যে অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট দেবো দুদিন আছে আপনারা বাড়িতে দুদিন
অ্যানাউন্সমেন্ট না
এই
অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট
যে এইটা তো আছে এখানে অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট
দিয়েছে
ডেডলাইন
ও দেয়নি এখন
প্র্যাকটিকাম
দেয়নি এখন
ও কি জ্বালাবে লোকটা
তারপরে কেউ আজকেও কুইজ দিবে না ওসব পুরো প্রিপেয়ার করতে পারছে না ও
Okay, let us stick to our question. What do we normally do in the classroom? So somebody was telling that Mr.
we
Deepankar.
first introduce the topic. Thereafter, we discuss about the prerequisite knowledge that is related to that topic. And thereafter, what a student will go to know after this class. And thereafter, we have just started.
That means you are actually going to the class and delivering a lecture. And before that, you do some sort of set induction, okay? That, yeah, this is what is the prerequisite required, what will be the objective that we are covering, and then you start delivering the lecture. But in the
Yes,
flipped
sir.
classroom, we normally don't do that. What we do is, prior to the actually taking the class, say 3 to 4 working days prior to that, we will give the material to the student or the learners. And in the classroom, we will not discuss that material, rather we'll start asking questions. Okay, we'll rather start asking questions. Or you can say to your student that wherever you have found the difficulty, you just ask question. Now, in order to ask questions by that student, they have to gone through that material. Okay, they have to read that material, they have to understand that material, and then if they are not understanding it, then they will ask you a question. But some effort has to be put by them before coming to the class. So what you are actually doing, in the flipped classroom environment. You are actually asking your student to participate in the teaching and learning process, active participation of the student. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So you are actually compelling them to go through that material, because what will happen, this I started in my MTech classroom, okay? After
But
some
sir,
time,
student will start to say that without teaching, how could we go through this material? This is not the right way, ma'am. If you don't teach us first, then how could I go through this material without teaching?
you will officially, ma'am, not say that I am not going to teach you. Okay? You will officially not say that I am not going to teach you. You will say that I am handing over this material and I will be taking the class on next Monday. Say today is Tuesday. You can give that material and you say that I will be taking the class on next Monday. You go through that material. Okay.
But sir, normally they don't go. I did this, but normally they don't go. They just wait.
Acha. Okay. This happened in our MTech session back in 2010-11. Okay, I started using the flipped classroom. So we were having some 26 students. So I used to give the material. Initially, not saying about the gender biasness, but most of the lady students, they used to come prepared. And some of the gent students, they used to come prepared. The others were not coming prepared. So then I ask in the classroom, sir, why you are not becoming prepared when others are also becoming prepared? They are coming to the class with preparedness. Then they feel that if X percentage of the students are coming prepared, they have to also become prepared. So after 1 or 2 years of implementing this, actually I become successful. See, success will never come on the first day, very first day, okay? But it will come. And I don't say that you do it for the entire course. You do it for one unit, one topic, one portion of your syllabus, and see what is happening. Are you getting my point? Anyway, so flipped classroom is give the material to them. Okay, give the material to them, and after sometimes when you are discussing in the class, start asking questions about that material to them. So you will be actually compelling them to participate in the teaching learning process. Okay. Spoken tutorial are linear multimedia presentation or video lectures of short duration addressing one or more concepts. These contents are delivered in multiple languages. Generally, spoken tutorials can be made available through digital repository, dedicated website, or any other digital media platform. Okay. Now comes the most important thing is the learning object. Can anybody of you tell me what is the difference between a learning object and a learning content? Do you have any idea about what is learning object and what is learning content?
I think, sir, in content we only provide the topic, and in the learning object we provide the related to some materials, learning materials to them that topic.
Actually, sir, content and object is interrelated. After finishing the content, means after covering the content, the outcome will be the object. There is some contents, then the outcome will be object.
Okay.
Means, the target is object and the input is content, I think.
You are somewhere near. Any other answer?
Sir, in learning object, hello?
Yeah. I am listening.
learning
Last में जाने को ना
object is directly related with the learning context. Actually, learning object indicates the inability that after learning the learning context, what ability will create in the student. Means he will be able to do this and this thing. He will able to operate that machine. He will able to etc. Is
So that means you are talking about the outcome of the learning. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. So we are talking about the outcome of the learning. Correct. A learning object is a small chunk of learning content which ideally address to one instructional objective in general. Let us take an example of a learning object. After going through this content, that is the learning object, the learner will be able to identify a flat tire of a car and replace that. You got the point? That means if a person is going through a skill program on driving, then he should be able to understand when there is a flat tire and what he has to do to rectify that flat tire, to replace that flat tire. So this is basically a learning object. Okay. I can take another example. A learning object, like if he learns from a video that how to unbox a printer and connect to a PC, that is a learning object. So that is here it is outcome based education. Nowadays we have in NB and other places we always talk about outcome based education or outcome based learning. So here the learning object is ideally connected to an instructional objective. Learning object is ideally connected to an instructional objective. So here you can see the definition. Learning objects are chunk of learning materials ideally addressing to one instructional objective. LOs are designed and developed using multiple media objects such as text, audio, graphics, images, animations, video clips. It can be a combination of multiple media objects. LOs are widely accepted as an independent learning chunk that can be used in the standard LMS. LOs are also used to transfer credit of similar activity. LO can be used for deep as well as surface learning approach. That means if you are learning on the first two levels of the Bloom's thing like remembering and understanding, then it is it's a surface learning approach. If you go for analysis, synthesis, create or evaluate, then we call this as a deep learning approach. So LOs are basically used in this part. So with this we come to the end of this first presentation. Okay, so if you have any question you can just ask me and then I will go to the next presentation. Okay, any question here?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Sir,
afternoon.
we follow this, we use this flipped classroom technique for classroom teaching also. I'm from Maharashtra, but
which college, sir?
I'm from Rajaram Bapu Institute of Technology, Rajaram, Sangli district.
Okay. Near Miraj.
Near Miraj. It is located near National Highway 147. Yeah.
That is a place where most of what is sugarcane agriculture is very
sugarcane area, full of sugarcane area. So what we are doing at our institute, we are implementing all these techniques. But as rightly stated by someone during this class, that the mindset of students needs to be changed as far as when we assign certain work to the students to read, maybe video lectures, etc., or the material would be given to the students before we go for conducting that lecture. The students are not preparing for it. Many times it is observed that the few students, they used to come with the assigned these things. But many times it happens that the students are not interested. Yes. So how to solve such mindset related problems which are associated with the student?
Sir, here one thing has to be done, to my understanding. I am not very much expert in that psychology part,
Okay.
but what happened is that credentials have to be provided to those who are actually actively
Yes.
participating in the teaching learning process.
Okay.
Hmm. I request all the participants to mute your mic. Only those who are speaking, please unmute it, and after you finish your talk, please mute it. Okay. So what is there is that you have to give some preferences to those
Yes.
students,
Okay.
those who are actually actively participating in the teaching learning process. Means you have to segregate those who are active learners, high achievers, and those
Yes.
who are backbenchers. Backbenchers is not the correct word I should use, but
Yes.
then I am saying that those who are actually not so much active in the class, and
Yes.
accordingly you give marks also in their exams also. Okay, the internal
Okay.
exams, their classes, their attendance. So these things has to be taken into consideration. Like
Okay.
you can do one thing, that you give an assignment time, and then
Okay.
you can give those who are submitting before the due date, there is some
Yes.
different marking scheme. Those who are submitting after the due date or on the due date, there may be some different marking scheme. So these kind of things you can apply, sir, depending on your situation. Now, India is a vast country. The education system and basically for every province to every province, if you go, there are different techniques that are used in the teaching learning. The universities, they are taking a different mechanism or rubrics or whatever it is you say. So this cannot be fully, you cannot say it cannot be mechanized. Rather, the teacher has to play an important role here. I am not burdening you with more responsibility, because I know that already you are already overloaded in every institution. Lot of academic and non-academic activities each teacher has to carry out. Okay, and so you are overloaded. But then if you can segregate those students who are really performing well, then other will also get motivated that okay, I must also do well. This is my humble submission, I can say, if I am able to answer your question, sir.
Sir,
Yeah.
You have told the right thing, I think. Because India is a vast country, if you think deeply, depending on the socio-economic status, when suppose we think that the materials, course materials, we handed over the students before 3 or 4 days ago or 5 days ago, but think there are 100 students, so 30-40 has gone through this, or 10 or 15 students has not gone through this, because it may be, if below the standard livelihood line, that is, if any student is below the poverty line, he or she doesn't concentrate, he or she doesn't get the time to concentrate on studies. He's attending in the college, and after beyond that he's doing something, okay, for getting more income. So actually, sir, you have told the right thing. There are many factors in this vast country. Some criteria, some percentage may be achieved, but for the 100% it is not achievable, because it is interrelated. If you deeply think, you have told the right thing.
That may be correct, sir, that may be correct.
Because it is one point, I think, also, because
yeah,
one
that I
student
said,
may be
that's
sincere,
why.
but he or she is not getting the time and the situation. He has weakness that he or she.
I do humbly agree to your point that this may happen, but many a times what happened, the student see, I will tell you one thing, the statistics which was given to us by IIT Bombay and other some stalwart professors of them who have now retired. When I was in 2011-12, we were actually promoting this e-learning. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So actually, out of say 60 students in the class, 20 to 25% students are very active. They are called high achievers. They are very active. They do all kind of assignments, everything, submit it on time. They always ask question to the teachers. They always sit in the front row many a times, and they do all kind of activities. They are actively participating in the class. Second is 60% of the student or 65% of the student, they are mediocre. They come, they sit, they are regular, but not that every time they ask question, they are very aggressive. No, but they are good in studies. The problem lies with 15 to 20% students who are backbenchers. Now, backbenchers is not the proper word I should use, but they always used to sit in the last. They used to in the class of mathematics, they used to study something else. They are not liking the lecture of the teacher. ठीक है यार, बाद में पढ़ लेंगे. We'll read it from the book afterwards. They are not taking the notes, and they are becoming a problem for the teacher also, because at times when they are not able to score marks, the authorities are asking the teacher why he has not done well, what he have done in the class. So ultimately the accountability comes to the teacher.
Right.
So now how to motivate them? There may be that they are not economically backward. They are well to do off.
Sir, how to motivate? I think for this we have to give some extra time. Means beyond the classroom hour, we have to counsel. We have to counsel the students. I mean, counsel them what that you are doing this course, and after finishing this course, what is the future? What is the job prospect, and what is the entrepreneurship prospect? So everything is not possible in the classroom, because the faculty, if we are already engaged in various administrative work also simultaneously with academic work, but we have to find out some time, and as much as possible we have to give time beyond the classroom hours for tackle this type of students, to motivate this type of students.
So normally what I feel that this type of student do not follow your any type of motivation also, and do not follow any types of ethics. They only come and only enjoy the college. What I do, I give some specific assignment and question to them, and you have to complete it within 24 hours and you have to submit it. Otherwise, I am not going to give you the attendance, and all the internal marks would be deducted in the final examination if you will continue this process in the classroom. Only they just do some work in the classroom also, and they normally they become little bit punctual rather than that.
I think you are,
yes,
Madam
ma'am.
Manisha.
I'm agree with this point. This is the one point, but I think the previous point which I have told, this is one also another point. Some percentage students will get motivated. Some percentage among 20 students, 4 or 5 or 6 students, because what is the because if you think about I can say about civil engineering. So civil or mechanical, that is, this is a course, and after that you finish suppose diploma or degree course. So if you after finishing the job, if you didn't get the job within 2 or 3 months or 5 or 6 months, there is also entrepreneurship opportunity, that is under board of practical training, under MSME. This type of skill engage the students in a particular work for 6 months or 12 months, depending on the courses. And after finishing this course, they provide the students, they evaluate the students, they provide the certificate, and during this course, they also get monthly remuneration. So this type of information, everything is not affordable to the student. Though they are internet savvy, though they are smartphone savvy, but in this age, so between the age of 18 to 20 to 24, they are not aware of this. So this is, I think, if from the faculty members they get this type of sounds, they get this type of words. So the what they can find the official website through the Google. The broadly the learning or elaboration they will gain from the internet. But the what in their memory. So faculty member act as the mentor as much as possible, as much as possible.
Now, Professor Deepankar, if I am not wrong, you are Professor Deepankar, na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let me say one thing to you, that every faculty member is overloaded. Okay.
Yes, obviously, sir.
Personal care, it will be difficult from them to take. Let us come
not
to the
possible,
actual
not possible.
scenario. Okay.
Not possible.
But anyway, frankly speaking, whatever Madam Manisha, from which institute you are? You are just speaking some time back, na?
Sir, I am from GEC Bhojpur, Bihar.
Acha. So, whatever techniques you have applied, it has improved the performance of the student? I want to know really from you. What is your assessment about the situation? Means you are doing it for some time. So what is your assessment of the situation? How will you assess the situation? आपको मतलब कैसा प्रतीत होता है कि नहीं इससे फायदा हो रहा है बच्चों को या नहीं?
Sir, what I feel that yes, they started doing the work and they do the active participation. In fact, other students start thinking that if I will not do the so and I will not active in the class, then the same pattern would happen with me also. And other students also become attentive automatically because they feel like it is just like a punishment, a big punishment for me because I have to do all the classes also, and these 10 and 15 questions that has to be solved within 24 hours and that had to be submitted. But it becomes difficult for them and it creates a pressure for them. And automatically, they start doing and do participate actively in the classroom.
So this is a good technique you have applied actually. Okay. Any other suggestion? So now if you have no other suggestion, I will quickly go and
Sir,
yeah.
Sir, actually, yes, every faculty may overload it. This is 100% correct. But when if the allotted class is 1 hour or 1 hour to 130 hours, or 1 hour to 30 minutes. So if we mentally prepared ourselves that last 10 minutes or last 5 minutes or last 15 minutes for every class, we will talk in the classroom about this type of words beyond the academic content related with the discipline of engineering or the subject, about the job work, about the job scope. I think this type of work continuously after completing the semester or the year, this will happen some impact upon the student. In this manner, we can
thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for.
Thank you, sir.
Now we come to the next session, that is learning object design. Okay. What is a learning object? Can I continue? Because we have a paucity of time. By 4:30, I have to finish it. Okay. So what is a learning object? A learning object is a small chunk of learning content that ideally address to one instructional objective, learning objective or objective in general. ELO can be a collection of small content along with illustration, practice-based content, or a set of items for assessment. Even the assessment also comes under the learning object. Ideally, ELO should contain learning content that can be generally accomplish learning within 6 to 14 minutes. Now, coming back to the same question, why this is 6 to 14 minutes? I will come back to one thing that you will be really astonished to hear from me. वो शाम को घर पे आपका एक सीरियल चलता है टेलीविजन में, जी स्टार एंड वगैरह वगैरह से. ओके, सो लॉट ऑफ सीरियल सोप्स आर गोइंग ऑन. कभी सास भी कभी बहू थी, एंड देन अमरावती वगैरह वगैरह. So in that serial, you find that there are 2 or 3 commercial break. One aspect is commercial break is required because then commercial soaps or commercial advertisements will be placed, and that will be a source of income. Second is that in order to reduce the cognitive load of the serial, in order to feel that the viewers are not being bored out of that concept, they break that presentation of that serial in 2 or 3 parts. Okay.
And sir, also to make the excitement, I think sometimes.
Yeah, you are right. That I'm saying. To keep the interest of the viewer, they are actually dividing the serial into 2 to 3 parts. And to reduce the cognitive load. What is the cognitive load? So if you are studying and after some time you are feeling that now my brain is totally jammed, I cannot take so much of concept. So you take a break. You go to on the top of the terrace, you just have a walk, or you take some coffee, a cup of coffee, sit in front of the television, and then again go back to study. That is, or you listen to some relaxing music to reduce the cognitive load. Similarly, for the serials also, in order to reduce the cognitive load, they are doing it. Here also, if you carefully analyze the thing, if you carefully analyze the concept of education technology, technology-enabled learning, and these things, normally a person can keep the interest on watching something within 6 to 14 minutes. I don't say that after 14 minutes, at 15 minutes or 16 minutes, he will lose his all concentration. No, I am not saying that. But your best outcome, best output by your cognition, your cognitive brain is within 6 to 14 minutes. Because below 6 minutes, it is difficult to formulate a concept and present in front of the learner. So 6 to 14 minutes is an ideal time of doing this. Okay. So this is one point. Okay. Second is that the principle of learning objective is creation of instructional component that can be reused numerous times in different learning content. I will take an example of this. Okay. See, you studied engineering mathematics and there Fourier transform, Laplace transforms are there. Now, if you are in computer science or in electronic and communication, you study digital signal processing, and there also Fourier transform and Laplace transforms are there. So you should create a learning object on Fourier or Laplace transform, which is independent of the subject. Anybody can use it in digital signal processing or in engineering mathematics or something like that. Same is in computer science. We have probability, statistics, and queuing. And in queuing, you have Markovian chains and other thing. Now, the same Markovian chains can be used in engineering mathematics or some specialized mathematics. Like if you use discrete mathematics, you can use first order predicate logic. The same can be used in the AI.
అయితే మౌనికి ఇటత్తది సాయి కుమార్ అటు పోతాడు అని అంటాడండి. నేను ఒక్కడిగా అమ్మాయిలకి ఎట్లా పోతాడు?
Hello.
మమతు మౌనికి వస్తారు.
Hello. Please mute your mic. Please mute your mic.
Sir, yeah, it happens every day.
Okay. Anyway, let us continue. So this is related to your instructional objective. According to Gelson, Hens and Hens in 2002, a learning objective is a unit of instructionally sound content centered on a learning objective or outcome intended to teach on a focused concept. This is the definition of learning object from Hens and Gallens. It is a fundamental building block composed of all instructionally necessary components to comprise a self-content instructional unit. It is primarily made up of digital multimedia objects such as text, audio, video, graphics, image, animation, and we normally call this media object as assets. Now, I have a question here. How this classroom teaching is different from the asynchronous mode of learning approach? Can anybody of you tell me that? How this classroom teaching is different from asynchronous mode of learning approach? What is the difference in that?
Sir, at classroom teaching, the time is fixed. I mean, both the student and the faculty have to be at the same time at the same place. But in
Correct.
case of asynchronous, you do not have to be at the same time and the same place. It is recorded, and the student can see the lectures anytime, like that.
Very good, sir. Very absolutely said. Now, how these two content are different? Is the content is same, you think, or content have to be different?
Sir, in case of classroom teaching, actually student can directly interact with the teachers. But in case of asynchronous teaching, actually, though if the students have some doubts, they can message or mail, but get the response later on.
Absolutely correct. Rightly pointed out, sir. Thank you. Now, then how the content has to be in case of different, how the content has to be different in case of asynchronous mode of teaching learning system, like say spoken tutorial or MOOC based courses. How the content will be different?
Sir, in that case, asynchronous content should be like more complete. I mean, it should have all the kind of explanations and examples so that the student on the other end who is taking the lectures do not feel any queries like that.
Very good. So how do you do that? Now the question arises, as a teacher, as a content creator, how will you do that?
So through some assessment test.
Okay. What else, sir?
I think we need to plan properly that what we are going to deliver in that recorded lecture.
Very good. How do you plan it? Now my next question is, I am keeping you in interaction. My next question is, how do you plan it?
Timing, sir.
Anything else? How do you plan it? What is the scientific way of planning it? Yeah. Please continue.
Involving the students.
Sir, we can make it a little bit attractive, like to add some photos, some videos related to that.
Okay. But my question is, how will you plan it, your course content, so that what is the foremost thing of planning a course content? I will speak in Hindi also if it is help you. Okay. Like, आप क्या करेंगे कि आपका कोर्स कंटेंट आपके छात्र या आपके स्टूडेंट के लायक बनेगा? You got my point. How will you What you have to do, what exercise you have to do so that the content become
Easy.
not easy. The content
I
becomes
think
absolutely good for them. It is useful for them, absolutely useful for them.
So by taking the feedback from industry requirements, I mean industry experts, so you can plan
Okay.
for the suitable content so that a student
Okay.
can be trained on those contents, and once they complete their diploma or degree, so they can be easily recruited by the companies.
Okay, sir. This is at the macro level. I humbly accept your suggestion. What will be at the micro level?
So the teaching process should
Sir, using the by
using
using the
different
examples of day-to-day life.
Sir, we can also plan the
Sir,
content based on the learning capabilities of the students as well.
Yeah, there comes the answer. You can plan the content on the learning capabilities of the learner. That's a very good answer. I
Thank you,
like it. I like it. Now, how will you? So, what you have to do? We have to identify the target audience. The two things which are related to content development or learning object development, the number one is the instructional objective, identification of the instructional objective.
But sir, the learning capabilities may vary student by student. How could we rectify that this is the capability of the student to learn it?
Well, yeah, I will come and answer to your question, ma'am. Let me finish the first answer. The two things which are important for learning object design is first is the instructional objective. The second one is the target audience. Now, coming back to your question, ma'am, that how it varies from student to student. As I said, that there has been a survey that 20% of the students are high achiever, 60% of the students are mediocre, and 20% of the students are backbenchers. So you have to consider an overall picture of your target audience and make it a content which is good, absolutely good for that 60% of the student, which are
But
mediocre
sir, the
students.
percentage of these students belong to the same college or the same university. But if you see the organized college based, like I am in the state based college, and if you see the spoken tutorial, they also give the same facility to the IITs also, and their abilities is far more than our student, as we all know this. And this capability is not similar at all for the same topic and for the same content. I have given some questions to the student from there. They are not able to solve that question, and this is not their fault actually. They are not that type of able. That's why they are here. Otherwise, they would also go to the IITs. They are not able to like that. That's why they are here. But they get the same degrees like BTech. They have also capabilities also.
I humbly accept your point. I don't say that you are wrong. But then in IIT also, you know the case of IIT Delhi. At times there were some issues related to that. Some student has also failed in some semester examination. It is not like that, ma'am. You said this is the scenario. As I said, this was stated by the faculty members of the IIT Bombay. When we are in 2012, when we are with them for popularization of this online education system, 10K teachers training program, another thing, that was the issue that came. Even in IIT also, there also you'll find that there are some students who are backbenchers. Maybe they are averagely good. Then we have to motivate them. Now the content is, now you are saying that, okay, fine, that they are in IIT and they are in state college, the content you have to make it according to your college maybe, or maybe for a set of college whose overall performance of the students are similar. You cannot compare a student of NITTTR with MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. I don't say that, but that is there. So coming back to this design and other thing, okay. Now, what are the synonyms that are used for ALO? Content object, learning chunks, educational object, information object, intelligent object, knowledge object, learning component, reusable learning objects, testable, reusable unit of cognition, training components, and unit of learning. So these are synonyms for ALO. What are the primary and the secondary characteristics of ALO? That is also important. So in the red which are shown are the primary characteristics of ALO, and in the blue which are shown are the secondary characteristics of ALO. One is the reusability. As I said, a content that is being developed for mathematical topic or for engineering mathematics, this can same content be reused for digital signal processing or something like that. So that is reusability. Then the ALOs should be interoperable. Interoperable means the same ALO can be used in a variety of gadgets. So one of the best example of interoperability is your YouTube. You can see the same video in your television, smart TV. You can see the same video in your laptop. You can see the same video in your mobile phone, iPhone, iPad, wherever you want, you can see the same video. So that is interoperability. Even with the change with the version of the LMS or with the change of the softwares, with the change of the version of the Windows or Linux or any other operating system, the ALO should work. This is called as interoperability. The third point, while we design the ALO, that is the accessibility. What is accessibility is, in India, if I have some findings from a research and you take those graphs and other things, show it to a student, and in the footer you just write this experiment was carried out by Dr. Rajiv Chatterjee and these are the output. But this is not acceptable in many foreign countries. I can sue you for millions of dollars. Why you have this is basically a sort of plagiarism, we can say. So this kind of the content should be legally available, and finally the ALO should be durable in nature. Durable means, I can take an example of durability. Your grandfather has a mahogany table, a study table made of mahogany wood, and you are still using it. You have inherited from your father, and your father actually has inherited it from your grandfather. So you are still using it. Can you call that table as a durable table? Can you call that table as a durable one?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Then the next question is, how will you consider a content as or a ALO as a durable ALO?
Because, sir, it is applicable, or it is universal, it is applicable, it is true for all time or a long term. Long term usability.
Yeah, correct. If a content, learning content in form of ALO remains valid, remains of importance, remains significant to the learner for a greater duration of time, then we say that the ALO is a durable ALO. Next comes the scalability. If a ALO can be used to teach 200 students today, and next year if I can use the same ALO to teach, or in the same ALO to make student learn, which are 2 lakhs in number, can I say that the ALO are scalable? Yes. Then it is discoverability. what is discoverability? You can try one right now, one example. If I ask you that can you show me or can you tell me the song where in that particular song Kajol, our one of the very popular what do you say, cinema artist or actor, Kajol is dancing in front of the pyramid. Can you tell me the title of the song?
Suraj Hua Mad
सूरज ढलने लगा.
Which one?
Suraj Hua Mad.
Suraj Hua Mad. Now, if you search it in the YouTube, Kajol dancing in front of pyramid, will the song will come up to you? Will it be available?
No, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
It will
Yes,
come.
some related things will be displayed.
Related things will be
Related
displayed.
thing will be displayed, and you can find one of the songs which is that Suraj Hua Madhyam. How it is possible? Is that computer can understand that how pyramid looks like? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Then how the YouTube will show you that particular video? Why not some other video? In that video, somebody will say Sunny Deol will say, "Mera 2.5 kilo kahan hai?" Why not that video? Why this song will come?
Artificial intelligence.
No, madam. Artificial
Yes,
intelligence is a broad term.
Okay.
How will you
Information has been given there.
The data will be stored where related things, it will be extracted from the Google Drive.
Okay.
Google server.
What do you call that data? Particular data. There is a term. There is a particular term for that. What do you call that?
Metadata.
Yes, correct.
Metadata.
Correct, very correct. So the thing is that in order to make the LO discoverable, you have to make it compliant with that metadata. Now there is for your assignment, you can say, or for your own interest, you can work with that. There is a IEEE LOM, Learning Object Metadata Standard, which contains 9 points. You can go through that. It is available in the IEEE site. And IEEE Learning System Committee, okay, Technology System Committee has developed that. So the thing is that in order to make the LO discoverable, you actually go for metadata. So metadata is an important point. And finally, the last one is, if you look into the slide, that is the interchangeability. What is the property of interchangeability? The property of interchangeability states that Rajiv Chatterjee has developed a very good video, which you all were actually using it for years together, say for 10 years. After somebody, say Raghav Sen, has come and say, okay, Chatterjee sir video is very good, but now certain aspect of this video, certain portion of this video has become irrelevant. With time, it has lost its importance. So we need to change some part of the video. If we can do that in a particular LO, if you can change some portion of that LO, then we say that this LO is having the characteristics or property of interchangeability. Now my question to all of you, or all of our honorable and respected participants, is that, is these 7 properties is clear to you? Or you have any doubt? Anybody, any doubt here? Because if this is clear to you, then you can do LO design. These are very important aspects. These all 7, the 4 primary and the 3 secondaries, are very, very important from the point of view, for the design point of view. Are you getting bored or enjoying the session?
No, sir, getting the board.
Getting bored or enjoying?
No,
Okay.
sir, it's good. It's good.
Okay. So reusability is the property of an LO that will allow you to include the existing LO in a course or aggregation as an active component. In case of technology-enabled learning, it is generally observed that LOs are designed and developed using multiple media objects authored through some multimedia authoring software like Authorware or some kind of technology or Final Cut Pro. So all these technologies. So there is a lot of money that is being pumped into the system in order to make these things. So the institute which are developing this, they want that it remain of significance for a long duration of time. It can be used in any combination of the subject. That is reusability. This led to the requirement of a substantial time and cost for the development. Hence, sir, kindly mute your. Please, sir, mute your mic. So this led to the requirement of substantial time and cost for development. Hence, the more the LO is reused, cost in terms of money and time can be justified. This property of LO is present due to the availability of certain information we call metadata, precisely learning object metadata or LOM. And the standard we follow is IEEE LOM. Interoperability. It is a property of an LO by virtue of which an LO remains valid and usable even though there is a version change of the software like LMS or other application, or the LO can perform well in a variety of hardware such as laptop, tablet, smartphone, Kindle, etc. In today's scenario, an LO should have the property of interoperability. Say, for example, today your college is not having huge money. So they go for open source LMS, say Moodle. Say after 10 years, the college has developed like anything. Their alumni is everywhere in America, Europe, Australia, and they are funding. And now your college want a proprietary LMS like Blackboard. So what will you do? Will you throw away all the learning objects which were developed for, say, Moodle? No, you will reuse it. So this is interoperability. Accessibility. Accessibility is the property by virtue of which a learning object gets legal access to the contents of others. So you know that CC, Common Creatives. Have you seen that there are 5 norms of CC? Okay, you can change, you can only use, you can modify. So all those CC, Common Creatives, is applicable here. Okay. And finally, the durability. The durability is very important property of an individual LO. It's provide the LO to remain valid and usable through the years of its existence. It also promotes reusability and other features. What is the benefit of using a LO? So everything has got some benefit, as you know, and everything has got some limitation also. Do you agree or not? Okay, there are of every concept, every aspect, every product, there is some advantage, there is some disadvantage. So here also, when we are talking of the LO, we have benefits of LO. Learning object allow creation of a highly effective learning experience for student and enhance student learning environment. So they motivate the student. Learning object can be assembled into larger collection called aggregation in advance by an instructional designer. So I can create some small piece of learning content called learning object and then make it a group, make it included in a package, and I can make an aggregation or I can make a unit of learning. Learning object allow experience in problem solving and exploration and collaboration with fellow members. Okay, fine. if you are having 10 colleges under one technical university, let us make some piecemeal content and then assemble them, aggregate them to make a full content. Learning object allow universal access on online instructional material without dependency on the application. A learning object provides solution for individualized learning. So my thesis on PhD is basically creating customized based learning content. So that was confidence based learning, but it is seldom used in learning environment, or you can say in the classroom. Rather, it is more used in the real world of work environment, like in medical science or in transportation and logistics, airline industry. So what I am trying to say is that learning object provides solution for individualized learning based on the lacuna of an individual. Through some kind of test or some kind of assessment, individualized learning can be also done using ELO. Learning objects are highly interoperable and reusable modular building blocks on e-learning content based on widely shared specification. Learning objects promote better collaboration among developers. Learning object can be combined in nearly infinite way to construct collection that may be called as lesson, module, courses, or even curricula. Learning object allows sharing of knowledge within and across the discipline, and learning object engage faculty in dynamic community of practice. Now the question arises, if we are talking of reusability, if we are talking of interoperability, if we are talking of durability, do we require a standard or not? This is the question I am asking you.
It should be, sir.
Yes, sir. Of course,
Yes.
it requires a standard.
Very good, man. Next, a question arises, how will you set up a standard for learning object? Is it the color of the slide? Is it the size of the font?
Content of the slide.
Content of the slide.
Yes.
Content of the slide. Now the question arises, how will you standardize the content? Because it varies from one teacher to another, one content writer to another.
The slide should be readable.
Readable? What do you mean by readable, ma'am?
It means all the content written on it is easily readable or understandable.
In a simple sentences, we can make a slide.
Simple sentences, we can make a slide. Any
It
other?
is understandable to the students.
Pardon? I didn't get you.
It is understandable to the student. After reading the sentence, they can understand what exactly we are saying related to the content.
Okay, fine. What else?
The font should be in contrast with the background.
Very good. Okay.
Pictures.
Animation should be
related to the content. Pictures can be inserted in a slide, so they can identify the they can identify easily.
Now I have a question to all of you. I have listened to all your suggestions or advice or answers. Now I have a humble question to you. Who will decide all these things? You are saying that. I am not saying that you are wrong. You are correct. Now the question arises is, who will decide all these things? Just a moment. হ্যাঁ এই 4:30 পর্যন্ত ক্লাস আছে, তারপর যাও। হ্যাঁ ক্লাস নিচ্ছি। হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে। Yeah. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah, now who will decide all these things? How will you decide?
Teachers only decide what content to be delivered to the students.
I will say one thing which
And
we will
also
not.
the based on the assessment, we can decide, sir.
Correct, ma'am. But again, there is a very complicated thing. Why I'm telling all these things? Not to make you confused, but give you the real picture. There are 7 properties you have read: reusability, interoperability, scalability, durability.
Yes, seven basic properties.
7. 4 primary and 3 secondary. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is one aspect. Second is that, as you said, the content has to be finite, content has to be unambiguous, content has to be readable well, all these things. But what has to be there in the content is a big question. I will tell you one thing.
That 7 aspect also should be there.
Correct, you are. Now there is a question. What is that question? Let me put like this. As a teacher, we are all teachers here, okay? And we have our own way of thinking. We are all learned people. At least I think here everybody is a BTech plus MTech or MSc or PhD or something like that. So everybody has gone through years together of study, maybe from various universities. Somebody may be from Maharashtra, somebody may be from Assam, somebody may be from Gujarat, or somebody may be from Kashmir. That's not a point. But all of us have an idea of a particular knowledge, particular subject in which we are teaching. Say, for example, if I'm teaching networking, I have some idea about networking. I have some idea about IP-based addressing mechanism, this, that. So what is an absolute thing? And how will you present it? That's the most important thing here. So here, if you kindly look, why standardization of LO is required? Learning objects, okay, kindly look into this part. Learning objects are designed and developed based on some standardization. This makes the LO independent to use in any standard computer application. We call this type of application as learning management system. Now, what are the standards available? And what these standards are doing basically?
Sir, to globalize the matter.
To globalize the matter. Correct. To make the matter globally acceptable. Shareable content object reference model from Advanced Distributed Learning Initiative ADL is one standard. The other comes the Learning Technology System Architecture. The third one is the Aviation Industry CVT Committee. Now let me tell you, this is basically related to the e-content development of the aviation industry. So if you look into all these airline industry or airplane operator or the airlines, have you seen that they follow the same standard? Okay. So starting from boarding into the aircraft and getting down from the aircraft, they behave in a similar manner. So aviation industry or the airplane operator require a common standard, and that too in the English language, for all the airline industry to train their competent people so that they can perform with confidence in their work area. So that is Aviation Industry CVT Committee. So majorly these are the 3 standards. Out of this, Learning Technology System Architecture is a little bit old standard, and it's a very open architecture. Whereas Shareable Content Object Reference Model SCORM is a very new structure, and it is tightly coupled structure. So let us see these standards available. Now, the question arises, learning objects design. What learning object should have? A learning object is the smallest independent structure or content, learning chunk, that should contain properly aligned objective, a learning activity, and an assessment that truly measures the
हो गया ना
stated
पराठा
object.
खत्म, अब तो रीडिंग कर ले, अब तू पिटेगा कुछ, पेट दुख रहा है करके 1.5 घंटा हो गया तुझे, 4 बजने आई कुछ, अब बंद करे टीवी, दादी का लगा दे और तू रीड कर, आ जा। और ये राम कबूतर आ गए कुछ सारे अंदर, गुड़िया तो उसके कमरे में, उससे कम पड़ रही है।
Can you please mute your mic? Okay. Anyway, coming back to this. So what a learning object should have? How will you make a standardization? It should be properly aligned with an objective. एक objective आप लिखिए, instructional objective or objective. A learning activity it should have, and an assessment that truly measures the stated objective. So you have to design the learning object in such a manner as now those things comes into it. As learning objective is used at 12 o'clock midnight by a learner in an independent manner, so your learning object should contain unambiguous material. There should not be any confusion while the student is going through that material. Every detail has to be designed in a proper way. Every detail has to be designed in that matter so that he doesn't feel that this content is boring or this content is not actually, I am not able to understand from this content. So it is very easy to prepare a content for the classroom session, but it is very, very difficult to prepare a content for the asynchronous mode of learning. That is my humble submission here in this class. Next is that learning object component. You can divide this component into these things. Like, in order to have effective learning object, ELO can have the following component as given in the figure: the concept, terminologies, and taxonomies. This one, extra knowledge and references. Okay, examples and illustrations, assessment, and the prerequisite. So this was actually designed as a part of my PhD work back in 2015-16. At that point of time, I have designed this and I have presented it in that IEEE Region 8 conference, and this was well accepted. And later, a significant work of my thesis is based on this. Okay, so how will you create a learning object component? This one small component out of this, that this is required. Okay, then the learning object and learning approach. So you have, so I have gone for the conventional Bloom's taxonomy, not the modified Bloom's taxonomy, where knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation is there. How will you make the learning object so that both the surface learning and the deep learning approaches can be addressed? Okay. And finally, what are the phases of learning object design? Develop a clear instructional objective for each course. Consider all existing content. Do not prepare the content which are already available. Do not reinvent the wheel. You try to aggregate all those things. Classify all existing content into discrete objects. Identify common element of content across courses. Development of learning object for each discrete content element, and then the course construction. So these are basically the 6 phases of the learning object design. Learning object design also includes every learning object should focus on the instructional objective and target audience. As I have rightly said just few minutes back, that there are 2 things. One is the instructional objective and second one is the target audience. The content developer
Sir,
should
I
clear...
just want to ask a question. Could I?
Okay, fine. Ask me.
Sir, since we are going through the child-centered learning process, so why don't we first ask to the student and assess to the student what they actually want in this content, and thereafter we plan and we structure any content like according to them.
Yeah, you are right, ma'am. That's why the target audience. Identification of the target audience, the first point. You are absolutely right, man. I fully accept your point. Have you seen now this target audience? Every
Yes.
learning object should focus on the instructional objective and target audience. So target audience is your student. Absolutely correct you are.
Okay,
Very
sir.
good. The content developer should clearly mention the media object used for development. Now the question is, next comes your point. I am also adhering to your point that if I show a video to a student, now you can go and ask the student, so shall I declare it in form of animation or shall I show it a real video? So if you show a video and if it really helps the student, that is the design. And finally, learning objects should follow one of the widely acceptable standards such as SCORM or LTSA. Design objective. In order to develop learning object at a large scale, it is advisory to define a standard that will be followed at the institution or organization level. Now, dekhiye, I will tell you one thing. How this assembly of cars came into market. Any idea? Anybody of you? किसी को मालूम है?
Can you repeat the question, sir?
Yeah, that how this assembly of cars, you know, assembly of cars,
I think
assembly
it's completely through automation nowadays. Huh?
or completely through automation, correct. But who initiated this process? People used to say Henry Ford.
Is it Henry Ford?
People used to say Henry Ford. It was not Henry Ford, it was his assistant. He went to a place, animal husbandry plant, where actually pork was actually deassembled. So he learned that system that in every workstation, some portion of the meat was taken out. So he get an idea that if I make an assembly line, where in every station there will be some particular activity done, then this can expedite the assembling of the car. The credit goes to Henry Ford, but this was studied by one of his assistants. Okay. So this way we are nowadays, we are globally able to make automobiles or cars or trucks and buses which are cost effective. Now, why I am taking this question here, let me go to the, in order to make the development of learning object at a large scale in an economic way, we should have a standard that to be followed at the institution or organization level. Okay. Every learning object should have an adequate LOM so that it can be accessible by various applications for different courses. Each LO should be atomic in nature and should be aggregated into larger unit called aggregation or unit. Development of LO process should be documented and stored for future use to accommodate interchangeability. अरे राजीव चटर्जी ने उसको बनाया था, अभी तो उनका तो रिटायरमेंट हो गया, मालूम नहीं कैसे होगा. No, that should be documented. Okay. How will you develop a learning object? In order to develop a learning object, the following activities have to be performed. Create a story that describes the LO at the macro level. एक कहानी बनाइए. Write down the script of the story. Create a full-fledged storyboard where each instance or scene is described at a micro level. An example of storyboard is given in the next slide. So this is an example of a storyboard. Storyboard for multimedia development, coursework title. Okay, coursework title, description of a for loop in C++. Sequence, each scene should have a sequence, whether it is assessment or informative. Branching, if it is branching to some other, say, what is the previous slide or previous scene and next scene, and the notes to the developers. So the developers are not content writers. They are not the content expert. But notes have to be given. The text part, if you want a graphics or audio or video, write it there. and what will be the screen title. Say, for example, in this screen, sample storyboard for Elo is the screen title. So this is basically a storyboard, and this was accepted in, this structure was accepted in, say, CPSC in one of the conferences. I don't remember that. It is transforming ideas into action. Some book is there, and inside that it is there. So it is accepted storyboard. So this is about the Elo design. Thank you for being patiently hearing this and interacting with me. If you have any doubt in this part, please you can communicate with me.
Sir, can you explain scalability?
Can you explain what, sir?
Scalability, one of the secondary objectives.
Scalability, correct. Now, Elo has got an activity, okay. Elo not only contains the learning content, but it also contains the question. Now, for each Elo, see, when through portal, students are accessing content. So when the students are going through that content, then they meet with those quizzes and assessment components, okay. Assessment component, quizzes, questions, small question. So if they answer those questions, then their marks should be added into the main part. Now the Elo should be able to handle that many students. So if Elo is basically handling some 300 students in a class, tomorrow that Elo should be able to handle 3 lakh students across the globe. So that is the scalability part of it. Am I able to answer your question, sir?
Yes, to some extent I understood. So it is on thinking a global scale, is it?
Yes, sir. Yes, absolutely correct. How many learners it can accommodate? You should be designed in such way. Now, how it is happening? If you go back to the technology part, it is basically there are some functions, okay, routines that take into account that Elo. So that Elo should be designed in such a. Now I'm coming to the hardcore technology part. This is the software development technology part. It should be designed in such a manner that it should be able to work with every instance of the object. Now I'm coming to that object-oriented programming. Let's not think about it in detail, but I think I'll be able to make you understand that for every instances of that Elo, that should update the performance of the student in the LMS.
Okay.
Anybody have a question here?
No, sir. Thank you.
So coming back to the MOOCs, I think MOOC.
One more thing is, where is it implemented? In which university? In India, where are they thinking of it?
Sir, I can tell you an example of this is Swayam MOOC platform is there, na?
NPTEL, right?
NPTEL, not NPTEL, the Swayam MOOC platform. The Swayam MOOC platform.
Okay.
So Swayam MOOC platform, then NITTT.ac.in. So these are basically where they have implemented this.
Okay.
And in most of the US universities and European universities, they are making a content. The teacher has to make those contents and upload it. Or contents are available by somebody. They are also in your course or in your subject matter. You have to implement that.
I mean, I just wanted to know if this NPTEL also is into these kind of things.
Sir, NPTEL has got I have a different view about the NPTEL. NPTEL is a 1 hour video. You got the point?
Yes.
You go through that through YouTube and other thing.
Yes.
But NPTEL is not Elo.
Right.
Elo is a small chunk of material ideally addressed to one instructional objective. NPTEL is a content which is ideally addressing to one big concept.
Correct.
That's the difference between NPTEL. And I will tell you, I am not a person to comment on that, because these NPTEL videos are made by very stalwart professors from IIT, but they did not gain that popularity which they were expecting because of that 1 hour duration. You got the point?
Yes, sir.
Means in Hindi we say that, or in English also we say that people should take it as a hot cake. I give 4 videos of 4 minutes and I give a video putting all those concepts together of a 1 hour. Which one you will take?
Four
If they
videos
are
of-
all, and if in both cases they are complete.
Right, understood.
So
Yes.
coming to that, I have only half an hour. I will quickly go through that MOOC part. Okay. So let us see how the MOOC is being designed here. This is my experience out of from this development of the Swayam MOOC platform. Dr. Ranjan Dasgupta and myself, we have floated a course on learning management system in Swayam MOOC platform. That course is available. You can look into that course. Okay. So MOOC, Massive Open Online Courses, is a novel technique of offering a course in online platform that extensively uses ICT platform. MOOC is generally offered in asynchronous mode, 4-quadrant approach, and the detail is like this. We have discussed about this. Okay. Now the format of MOOC also we have discussed. It's 10 hours, 20 hours, and 40 hours of learning. And generally the overall idea with MOOC is that it should be of 3 to 4 hours of work per week, not more than that. Okay. So the idea is that we have to make the learning experience as pleasurable as possible. That's the overall idea here. This includes video lecture sessions, self-study of the supporting material, and additional material. So when we talk of a 40-hour MOOC course, it is not that 40-hour lecture. Please keep in mind, if we are talking of a 40-hour learning of a MOOC course in spread over 12 weeks, it is not 40 hours of video lecture. There may be 6 to 8 hours of video lecture, maybe 30% of that, or maybe 25% of that. The remaining thing is the activity. Now the question arises, you design, why we are doing like this? The answer to this question is, you design the course in such a way that you engage more and more people into the learning activity. The engagement is most important here. Okay. Proposal for MOOCs. The introduction of the course in 150 to 200 words, description of the instructor, course plan per week, what you are going to teach topic wise, and then the introductory video of 3 to 4 minutes. Okay. So just show an introductory video giving a glimpses, the entire glimpses of the program. Okay. Then the MOOC syllabus, the detail of the course, discipline, duration in hours as well as in weeks. Contact details of the instructor, including name, design, designation, department, institute, university, email ID, contact number, website, and blah, blah, blah. Contact details of the teaching assistant, if you are including their name, because MOOC has to be a single teacher or a couple of teachers cannot handle, because as the name suggests, it's a massive open online courses. So there are chances that in a MOOC course, there may be some 7 lakh learners who have registered for a MOOC course. And this MOOC was basically designed by Anil Agarwal at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology in US, and Anil Agarwal, Indian origin professor, who has actually an electrical professor who has actually designed this course. This method of delivering the courses. Okay. What is the intended and the target audience? prerequisite, if any, industry support, and time frame of the course, that is the start date and the end date. So this is the overall idea of this MOOC course. Okay, so if it is being spread over 12 weeks, let us see that what are the lectures which will be there in that. So this is the course outline. So your video lectures. Then you have, say at the last 2 weeks, you can have practice work, project work, or something like that. So this is basically how you plan your course. Coming back to this, what are the activities you will have apart from the lecturing? Apart from lecturing or lecture materials, what are the activities you have? You have MCQ, quizzes, tutorials, essay type assessment. And when you put all these activity, you are actually engaging the learner in teaching learning process. And then they will go and study the supportive material in order to answer this. And these are having some value. These are having some marks. These are having some credential for the completion of the course. Say you can write like this, okay, you have 10 assignments to do. If you get more than 70% in the first 8 assignments, the other 2 may not be done by you. This is a carrot and stick procedure you can apply. Okay, this is a very raw word I am using here, but I beg your pardon to say this is a carrot and stick trick which you should apply here. So if you score more than 80% marks in first 8 assignments, the remaining 2 assignments have been exempted. So this kind of things will help the learner. They will put more effort in their assignments. Okay. And then the reviewer of the course. So whatever you design, it needs to be reviewed. So you can put the name reviewer of the course, list of the reference material, books, journals, research paper, reports, manuals, whatever it is you can put, and list of special kind of item banking, if any, that you can put together. And then the script, story, board, and video lectures. So the same thing I will show. This is the script part of it. Okay, and this is the storyboard part of it, which you have earlier seen here. So this is all related to your MOOC design part. Okay, so if you have any question related to MOOC, you can put forward those questions. I will try to answer those. Any question which is coming to the back of your mind regarding MOOC? You can.
So MOOC is with the SWAYAM portal, is it? It's there is something in the SWAYAM portal about this.
Yes. SWAYAM portal. You can go. Have you, sir, done any course on SWAYAM MOOC portal?
Yeah, NPTEL courses I have done. SWAYAM NPTEL, right?
Acha, SWAYAM NPTEL. But some SWAYAM MOOC courses you have done?
No.
Have you done assignments and assessment, and then have you sit for the end exam? Or did you participated in that 8 module syllabus of that AICT 8 module?
Yes, sir, we have done.
That is basically a sort of MOOC sort of things. Okay.
I
think you have gone through the video lectures as well as you have gone through the supportive material, as well as you have gone through the interaction also.
Sir,
yeah, sir, am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, sir, this is Maurya from Northeastern Hill University, Shillong, Meghalaya, sir.
Okay,
sir, while submitting this MOOC's proposal, we have to submit the set of recorded video also. So what are the prerequisites video which we have to submit along with proposal?
Yes, sir. See, what actually comes from a top-down approach in our institute. So 4 NITTTRs were entrusted to create MOOC content based on teaching, learning, pedagogy, e-learning, technology-enabled learning. These areas we have been given. Okay. So then 4 NITTRs, we distributed those courses based on our expertise, because 4 NITTRs, they have different expertise. So in our department, myself and Dr. Dasgupta, and then Dr. Samir Rai and another fellow, they develop problem-based learning. So these kind of things we develop. So myself, because I am having my expertise, one of my expertise in basically in learning management system and this technology enabled learning, myself and Dr. Dasgupta, we developed a course on learning management system. And we created the concept, then we get it through done by our reviewer, then we created those lectures. I have shown this actually. Let me show you that part. Okay. Here, this video, we created all this video. These are names are not given, just written as video lecture 1, 2, 3. Here it was topic wise video lectures were there, and they were mostly of 10 minutes video, 6 to 14 minutes. Average is 8 to 10 minutes video were there. Then we created the subtitles of this video, or else rather, I said that we created the script and then we make it as subtitle to the script. And
sorry to interrupt you, sir. Sorry to interrupt you. Means after the proposal got reviewed by review committee, then only we have to start recording the video. Before that, it is not required.
Sir, it was like that because our internal committee is there, external committee is there. I won't say that this is the only procedure, but what happened with us, I am just telling you our own experience. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So the thing is that once we give the entire story and the script of the content, it was reviewed and then it was okay. And there are some iterations also. It doesn't happen in a overnight. Okay. So the expert who are from industry or IIT, they say, no, this part you have to rebuild, this part you have to rewrite, and those things came. A lot of cross arguments were there. We say that this part, now you are going little slow, somebody said, some experts say too fast. So we are having that discussion, we are having argument and agreement and argument in that part. Okay. Because I will give you an honest picture out of that. Then somebody said that what I was doing also, that was some experts say that, sir, you are stressing more on the skill part of it. Okay. Like I am showing some application part, how to upload or how to create a classroom or something like that in LMS. So that I was sticking more on that. So somebody suggested, no, this was not required. Somebody suggested, no, this was required. See, everybody has got a view out of that. Okay. So then after that, then our video lectures are also reviewed. Then we go through the modified lectures also. We have to modify that lecture. And thereafter the video upload was there. Then we have to make 200 questions. We uploaded those questions also. And some assignment and assessment we have to give. All these things. And then after making the video, then we start making the supportive material. Because whatever was not covered inside the video, that has to be covered inside the supportive material. Okay. Means some prerequisite is required in that video. Okay. Some concept which is not clearly mentioned. So you have to provide it in the supportive material. So all these things happened. And thereafter, again, it was holistically reviewed. And then it was uploaded in the SwayamMoot platform. Okay. So this is all about the thing. Am I, sir, able to answer your question?
Yes, sir. Very nicely, sir, you have answered. Sir, the second question related to this teaching assistance. This TA should be from SAM University, or if he is unemployed, can we ask him to be the participant in this kind of program?
Sir, one thing is there, if you are from university and if your university support paying other body, because these are all paid courses and nobody will work without money, sir. I think you will agree with me. So if the TA is from your own institute, you have taken a TA for the MOOC program itself, then he is being paid some 25 or 20 or 25,000 rupees. And maybe he is one of your PhD scholar. The most important thing is that the TA should have a complete knowledge about that subject, because he will be evaluating the assessment, the assignments and the assessment of the learner. Okay. So he should have a complete knowledge of this. Suppose you are a faculty member of NEHU. Now you have an expertise in, say, suppose you are doing research in, say, cyber security. Okay. For simple understanding, I'm telling this, that you have a expertise in cyber security and you have a lot of research scholar in cyber security. Now you are offering a course on cryptography, and your TAs are your PhD student. You're getting my point? Then it will be easy for them to evaluate the thing because they have gone through your coursework. Are you getting my point? They have
Yes,
gone
sir.
through your coursework, and now they are able to evaluate the learner because they have an idea that how you are going to teach that particular subject, where they are once your student. Now, if you take somebody who is not known to you, and just by giving your material, will he be able to actually do justice to all the learners? That is a big question.
Thank you, sir. The last question, sir, if you allow, otherwise.
No. Most welcome, please.
Sir, if we are taking the help from various resource person from different university and institute, so that is permissible in case of MOOCs or?
Sir, in our case, it was 2 faculty, 3 faculty, or 4 faculty have done. But there is no, if somebody is an industry expert or something like that, I hope you can definitely take that. There is no harm in it. Yeah. And in AICT, in that NITTT.AC.in, that 8 module. So sometimes actually, some expert has been hired. I think that is possible, but you have to check out from what is your norms, your institute norms and other thing. That can be possible.
So whatever the honorarium we should pay to them, external expert, it is up to our university. What is the norms they have been framed?
Yes, sir. It is up to the university. See, normally, suppose you find that Rajiv Chatterjee is an expert in, say, network infrastructure. You can call them and see, if I go to NEHU, you pay me for a session 5,000 rupees. Maybe if I go to some private university, they can pay me more. But I cannot claim that my rate is this, because it depends on the university to university, what honorarium or remuneration you are paying to your external guest faculty or external faculty. This is my humble submission.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So we need to quickly finish it up. Any other question in that MOOC part? I have a very small presentation related to now the virtual laboratories. Okay. So shall I consider that this MOOC part is convincing to you? Shall I close this chapter and quickly go to the virtual laboratories?
Yes, sir.
Professor,
Yes.
Okay. So I now quickly go to the virtual laboratories, VLabs. Very small presentation on this, not a very big one. This is okay. So now coming back to VLab. So what is virtual lab? Now virtual lab, actually IIT Bombay, they started with some COTS sort of thing, commercially off the shelf available sort of things, and then virtual laboratories. And those are basically, the idea was certain institute, they may not have the resources to procure the costly items, okay, or costly resources or costly equipment. They can go for virtualization of the laboratories. So basic agenda here is about the aim of the experiment, about the experiment and the aim of the experiment. Then you need to provide a theoretical concept out of that. then the experimental procedure, results and discussions, conclusion, and the timeline for the virtual lab. So in the experiment, about the experiment in this section, the instructor will provide a brief summary of what is to be covered in the experiment and how it can be performed in the laboratory. So you are actually giving in form of a video presentation or in an animated form of sort of thing. Both are applicable here, video presentation and animated sort of things. Then the aim of the experiment. So a statement that provides objective, a clear objective of carrying out this experiment. For example, if you are showing in a physics, Young modulus experiment, okay, Young's modulus experiment of stress and strain. So that should be clearly written here. That is the aim of the experiment. Then the theoretical concepts. Okay, for example, if your aim of the experiment is to verify that Ohm's law, then the theoretical concept about the Ohm's law has to be given, that voltage is proportional to the current in the circuit. Okay, and then you just explain it showing with a battery, ammeter, voltmeter, and resistor setup, and so that when you increase the voltage, the current also increases in the circuit. So this has to be present. That is the theoretical concept about this. Then the experimental procedure, how to do the setup of the experiment. Okay, so how that you show it in form of a video or animation. Suppose you are here, I have shown you a breadboard sort of thing. Okay, so here you show that how this breadboard, how you can implement, how you can set up that experiment. So the video presentation can be shown or animated sort of things can be shown. If it is a experiment related to something like titration or something like that in the chemistry, that has to be clearly shown to them, and there is changing in the color of the fluid and other thing has to be clearly shown to them. And this can also be with what say indices and with all those what do you say that statements and legends, it should be shown clearly. In the experimental procedure, the entire process or procedure of the experiment has to be clearly stated. It is expected that the procedure will be a video recorded and edited to suit the requirement of the learner. An instructional manual must be prepared explaining step-by-step elaboration of the experimental procedure. So it is not only the video part, like MOOC, you have to create an experimental procedure or manual, instructional manual has to be created so that it shows you or it give a gist of the entire experimental procedure. Then in this section, the results and discussion, you have to clearly explain how to record the outcome and put it in a tabular or format, whatever is suitable, to make it as a results, and then discuss the case also. So you must also clearly state that what is the outcome of this experiment. Okay, so you have got some result, you put it in a tabular format, and then you clearly show that what is the outcome of this experiment. And then finally the conclusion. In this section, a conclusive discussion is required that will present the fulfillment of the objective of the experiment. And what is the timeline for the virtual lab? To start the design of a virtual lab experiment, prepare the script and the graphics that are required for video recording, record your video clips and edit them as per the requirement, create the web pages or the pages that are required to upload the video clips in the YouTube, prepare the instructional manual, and connect all the components and go live. So these are the 5 steps you must follow to make the virtual laboratory. If you are convinced with this, do you have any question?
Sir, good evening, sir. This is Hemlata.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, the difference between this virtual lab and AI?
AR means augmented
AI,
real.
Artificial Intelligence Lab. Is
No,
it same?
virtual.
Yeah.
No. Virtual laboratory is like you can create, you can show some kind of experiments. If you allow me, I can show you. Just a minute. I will share the screen and show you a network experiment. Okay, just a minute.
Is
We
it
have.
connected with augmented reality? AR?
You can say that. You can say that it is connected with augmented reality. Let me show you, sir.
Yes,
Let
yes.
me show you. Let me share the screen. Okay. Chrome tab. So this is our part. Then we have. Sir, here it is virtual laboratory. Okay. And computer science, we have 2 experiments. Okay, so open shortest path first of network and the configuration of multiple VLAN. So here you can see that here videos are there. Okay. So in the video, it is, I don't know, you can check it. You can play this video.
Yeah.
Can you hear this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Dear
Yes, sir.
learner,
Yes, sir.
welcome to the session of Virtual Computer Network. In this virtual laboratory session, we shall configure VLAN in one of the switches. For this purpose, we need a managed switch. Before we proceed for the experiment, let us understand the 2 perceptions about the VLAN. First, we should know what is a VLAN. Second, why do we require a VLAN in an enterprise LAN setup? These will be explained in the following session. Before that, let us see aim of the experiment. The aim of the experiment is to configure multiple VLANs in a single managed switch. Next is aim of the experiment.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
Then concept related to VLAN. Dear learner, welcome to virtual laboratory session. Now let us first understand what is a VLAN. A virtual local area network, commonly known as VLAN, is any broadcast domain that is partitioned and isolated in a computer network at the data link layer, generally identified as layer 2 in OSI reference model. VLANs allow network administrator to group hosts together, even if the hosts are not directly connected to the same network switch. You can see in the figure that there are 3 departments, namely sales, HR and engineering. These are logical groups connecting several nodes spread across the various switches. However, respective departmental nodes are only connected, providing more security and at the same time segmenting the traffic across the VLAN. VLAN has a significant role in the enterprise LAN setup. In the enterprise LAN, not only the traffic in the LAN is segmented using VLAN, but the entire LAN is divided into 4 zones, namely public internet, DMZ, MZ and LAN, which is given here in the figure. The zone management and VLAN routing policy is given here, where all the internet connectivity is at the gateway level is fetched to the public internet zone, we say zone 1, using a router or a firewall. Next, using the technique of network address translation, we say in short NAT, the connectivity is passed on to demilitarized zone. We called it as DMZ, that is zone 2. DMZ hosts all the servers that require protection from the outside connectivity, but So at I the same am time stopping here. required to stay connected. I am actually stopping here. The reason is that you can go through that. It is available in the
Website.
our
Yeah.
website.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So this is, I am crossing your 4:30 time. You can go through that. So this is, and then some quiz materials are there and manual is there. What I want to show you is that the manual, you can download this manual and it is available like this. If it is visual, you can see here screen sharing. So manual is also available. Okay, so how to prepare all these things. All these materials are being given here. So this is a sort of virtual laboratory. There are many forms of virtual laboratory, certain experiments, but here we have basically shown you the commands. Everything has been shown in the video. So this is related to today's presentation on content development for e-learning. Any question you have got, I will be happy and appreciate to answer your question. And otherwise,
Professor, one more question.
yeah.
When we have to do e-content posting through SWAYAM, so we need to meet those expertise there and then overcome all those procedures, right?
Correct, ma'am. Correct.
Okay, so in the SWAYAM website itself, we have to approach with the story writing, proposal writing, everything through them, right?
Yeah, but one thing is there, SWAYAM, you have to find out that what are the topics which are not available. Then you have to approach them. In our case, it has come directly from SWAYAM that these institute will develop this program. But what I humbly submit to you is that instead of going directly to SWAYAM, you can create your own MOOC portal also at your institute.
Right. Okay.
That also you can do.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So, ma'am, what is your name and from which institute you are?
Sir, I'm Hemlata from Bangalore, Christ University.
Wow, Christ University. Nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other question? Anybody want to ask any question? So just, I will just ask the coordinator. Whether I should leave or what.
আপনি যে নাম্বারটিতে কল করেছেন সেটি নেটওয়ার্ক অঞ্চলের বাইরে।
So I hope with this I should stop this session. Thank you for being with me for the last 2.5 hours. And I hope I have been able to answer all your questions. Should you have any doubt, you can post it to your coordinator. He can forward me and I will try to answer to this.
Sir,
With this,
sir, I want to know. Hello, sir.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I am Dr. Itesh, sir, from Chennai Satyabhama University. Sir,
Okay,
I have
sir.
one doubt, like AR, VR courses. So, like any tool is available for AR, VR on the this NITTR in Kolkata, sir? Like,
Sir,
lab.
recently the Learning Resource Center, which is headed by Professor Chandan Chakravarti, has actually set up a AR VR lab. Now, those are basically, sir, those are equipments which you need to have, and virtually you can create some experiment in that. So you need to have a setup, and then you can create, you can do programming and create a virtual experiment inside AR, VR, actually virtual reality, you can say.
Okay, sir.
So you can come down if next year we float some courses on AR, VR, then definitely you can come down to our institute and take those courses.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So any other question? You can give me a feedback that to your coordinator about this session. How do you like this? Whether it was helpful to you or not?
So that video on experiment you wanted to show, sir?
Which one, sir? Is that VLAN video?
Yes, sir.
So you want to see the entire video? Sir, you can go to our...
that I can go to the website. I'm telling you said there's some experiment which is recorded and then that can be played initially before this.
This experimental procedure you want to see, na? This one you want to see. Just experimental procedure, okay. Learner, let us now see how to connect a laptop with one of these switches. We will be taking the second switch from the top of the pool. You can very well see this mini console port here. We will connect this mini console port to the laptop using one of the USB port of the laptop in this manner. Now we have established a physical connection between the switch and the laptop. Now go to my PC and right click Manage. A window will open up with name Computer Management. Click on the device manager, select port to find out which COM port it is using. In this case, it is COM5. Open Putty software and select serial port and type COM5. Select speed 9600 as default and now click open button. A new window, as you can see, will open up and ask for the user ID and password to log into the device. Learners, now you can access the switch for its configuration. Now we have established the connection between the switch and... Here I would like to mention one thing, that actually there is a change in the voice, because previously it was done in the studio and now it has been done in the laboratory. Okay, so there is a change in the voice. Okay.
And the laptop. So let us now see what is the privilege. So I'll type show privilege. So you can see that I have level 15. Now, in order to configure something inside the switch, we have to first enter into the configuration mode. So for this, we'll give a command configure terminal. You can see that config inside the bracket is written, that indicate that it is now in the configuration mode. Now, to configure any VLAN, we have to type the command VLAN and the VLAN ID. VLAN 010. This is the ID of the VLAN. And we can give a name like sales. So name is also given. Now I will exit from this config VLAN, and now I will consider this VLAN as a logical interface, and I will type interface VLAN 10. Now I will provide the IP address of the VLAN, because VLAN is also an interface, even though it is a logical interface, and we have to provide an IP address to this interface. So I have an IP address 172.16.32.1 with subnet mask address as 255.255.255.0. We have created a VLAN, we have named that VLAN, and we have now provided an IP address to the VLAN. By this process, we can create a logical interface called VLAN, from which we can now assign ports to that particular VLAN. So for this purpose, I will exit from this configuration interface mode, and again exit from the configuration mode, and let's see what are the VLAN that are available. So VLAN is the command to identify what are the VLAN that are available. So here you can see that sales is a VLAN which has been created, and that is the 10 number VLAN, and already it is active, and two interfaces are connected with this VLAN.
Learners, by this time, I hope you have understood how to configure a single VLAN in a managed switch. In the similar manner, you can configure multiple VLANs in a single managed switch or across the set of switches. The detail of this configuration are given in the manual along with this virtual laboratory. I hope you can learn by referring to the manual. Thank you very much. So with this, you can see how you can create a virtual laboratory sort of thing. So if you can I consider that, do you have any other question, or can I consider the end of this session?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you very much. With this, I take permission from you to close this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ ভাই এদিকে 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 এই যে তুমি জানো শিখে গেছো অনেক শিখে গেছে না